back to the weight room. Thanks for tuning in again today. I have a brief little episode here, and just a solo episode today, coming to you on this Thursday, on this last day of March. A lot of stuff going on, and usually I do my check-in episode today. I will do that. I'll drop that probably tomorrow or so, around that time frame. But really, I just wanted to bring this episode to you today. Short, sweet, to the point, maybe get you through the rest of the week. But with that being said, getting into it, I think we have a big issue, or at least some issue. We have an issue. Let's just put it that way. I think we have an issue in our society, in our culture, of growing mediocrity, and that's almost, mediocrity, being mediocre is almost now like being seen as being good or being great. And, I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm not saying you have to be Superman, but I think that there's a standard that we can all meet that we're just failing to do. I think there's a standard of excellence. Maybe that's a better phrase, or better term, a better descriptor than perfect. Because I think excellence is something we can all strive towards. And, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm certainly not saying I'm excellent. But I think trying and striving towards excellence is something that is just failing to happen more and more these days. And it's not just in health and fitness, even though obviously you see a lot of people struggling with their health and through their own choices, but it comes down to like every aspect of our life. Where are we seeing mediocrity take over? And sometimes really a lot less than that. Really just below average, just becoming the standard for whatever reason. There's tons of different reasons, but just think about when the last time, and this is something that gets a lot of people, it gets a lot of people upset, gets a lot of people thinking about this, and it got me thinking about it. When's the last time you ordered food? Just think through like a pickup service or even a drive-through, and your order was actually right, and it wasn't Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A very rarely gets your order wrong. And that's kind of funny, but it just goes to show you what training, what a good program, and what holding people to a higher standard can do. It's a small thing of getting an order right and, being pleasant, but like those things add up to a good experience, to a good culture. So, as funny as it is talking about Chick-fil-A on a health podcast and on a fitness podcast, like they're great examples of what hard work, diligence, caring can do. When's the last time you took control and pushed yourself beyond, the comfort zone, beyond your comfort level? Because that right there is a direct, lead into whether your outcome is going to be mediocre or if it's going to be great, if it's going to be something beyond just the average, just the norm. I think we're so inclined to favor, and this is maybe a little bit of a tangent, but I think it ties back into the whole issue. I think we're so inclined to favor the handout and the easy ride and the shortcuts over the hard work, over the discipline, over the diligent, caring effort. We have government giving out thousands of dollars, for quote unquote stimulus money. We have, people, or government, I guess, really wanting to give out hundreds of dollars per month right now for gas money. And many people are wanting that, not understanding, simply not caring about how that affects the greater whole of the country, the greater whole of the world, the greater whole of the future for the people that aren't even born yet. Free does not mean better. Freedom might, but free doesn't. And And I think all this kind of ties back into why our culture is becoming so mediocre and accepting it and also almost like praising it in a way. So I think it comes back to a lot of times having or not having pride in yourself and what you're doing and things like that. Because if you don't have pride in it, you don't care what the outcome is. You don't care, what for you or for anybody else. So I think we're destroying what makes this country great, and we're training the youth to expect everything to be given and nothing earned. We're instilling the idea that if you come from a rough background, you're a victim and you deserve something for your hardship, instead of treating that hardship as a path forward to better things and seeing it as an advantage because of the lessons learned along the path. That's something that we're not accepting this idea that everybody struggles. It's the idea that only the minority struggles, or it's the idea that, if you're this race or this gender, this, sexuality or this whatever, like you struggle, and that should be, compensated. You should be compensated for that struggle, but it doesn't take into account that struggle actually is building you into a better person. It's making you more capable. It's making you more independent of the government. It's making you, or it can, I guess. But we're being taught that if you have these things, then you're just a victim, and you need the government to give you money for this, that, and the other, or you need these opportunities given to you because you can't get them on your own because you're this skin color or you're this whatever. And so we're allowing ourselves to not, educate ourselves because, well, if I'm going to get this opportunity anyway, I don't need to be smart when I get it because I'll just get it because of my skin color, or I'll get it because of, whatever. So I think we're just digressing into a state of like everybody's quote unquote equal, but we're all equally dumb, we're all equally unhealthy, and we're all equally miserable. Because truly, I don't think any human wants the easy path. I don't think that your spirit, I don't think that your character develops over the easy path. I don't think there's any benefit to that. So I think, mediocrity, when it comes to this country, it's breeding more mediocrity. And, the gap between skill, education, and opportunity is only getting larger. It's not getting smaller when we accept the poor effort and lack of hard work, because there will always be, that percentage that works harder. There'll always be that percentage that works harder. So just because we accept mediocrity, just because we accept, worse effort, or no effort, that's not, just because we accept and we encourage that kind of behavior and action, that doesn't help the people who are struggling. Because there's always going to be people, maybe a small percentage, maybe a big percentage, there's always going to be people who are working hard, working diligently, and are educating themselves to outshine the other population. So I think it comes down to you. Which are you going to be? Which group are you going to be a part of? Are you going to be, are you going to be the blamer, victim, mediocre group? Because there's a big population out there who are okay with that. And they're okay with not only being the victims, but also telling you that you're also a victim and that you can't do this because of oppression and because of this, that, and the other. So they're creating more victims because they're not happy with their own lives. They're not simply not, smart enough to see how well that we as humans have it. And of course, not everybody comes from the same opportunity, But even having the opportunity of being in America, being in a first world country is an opportunity that is beyond this crazy idea that we could even have had a couple hundred years ago of opportunity. So, once again, which group are you going to be in? Are you going to be in that group, or are you going to be in the group who's disciplined, who's diligent, and who's hardworking, and who doesn't blame others for their lack of success, and who doesn't blame, people for their current situation or current outcomes? And it's unfortunately it's a big divide between those people. It's a big divide, but you can choose. Kind of going back to my last solo episode, it's your choice. It doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter your job, doesn't matter your whatever. It doesn't matter any of that. You can do it, and that these kind of tie together, because I feel like a lot of people either get told that they can't do it, and so they become a victim, or they adopt these victimhood mindsets from media, from teachers, from other, friends and things like that. And over time, they just become the victim. They become the victim instead of the victor. It's kind of you're going to be the victim of the victor kind of thing. But once again, it's your choice. It's your choice in this day and age. It really is. There's a lot of things that are not good. There's a lot of things that could be better, could be worth fixing, but that doesn't mean that you're a victim because you're in this world, living in today's day and age. A lot of times, that's just the reality of it. So, with that being said, don't want to harp on it too long. Don't want to stay on here too long. Don't want to bore you to death. But I just feel like I had to put that out there, and kind of put it in stone for this podcast at least. And with that being said, though, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe wherever you are listening. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcast, all that good stuff. On Spotify now, you can leave a rating. Would really appreciate all that good stuff. And be back here on Monday with another episode of The Weight Room. Have a good weekend, and I'm out.